Telly Talk, where we talk about what's on the telly, and by that I mean we talk about what's on our minds, because we're Telly. I'm Soul, and I was a loser in middle school.
I'm Tyler, and it's my movie month, which means we are watching movies that I picked out not because they're my favorite, but because they meet the criteria of like the vibes of the types of movies I like, which include coming of age movies or rom-coms or boy movies. And by boy movies, I mean it's a group of preteen or teenage boys hanging out having a silly time. And this movie is both a coming-of-age movie, a rom-com kind of with the main couple a little bit, and a group of boys hanging out having a silly time. So this is such a me movie. However, today...
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Today we're talking about the movie Good Boys, which I picked out for my movie month before ever seeing it. I saw the trailer in like 2019, which was 5 years ago now, which feels weird to say.
Don't say that.
When this movie, half a decade ago in 2019.
Don't say that, that's even worse.
I saw the trailer for this movie, and I knew that I would love it. However, I've never actually seen it, but I could just tell that it would fit the vibe for my movie month perfectly, and I was right. I was so correct. Have you seen the movie before? And did you like it?
I liked it.
How does it rank for all the movies for my movie month we've watched? Because this is the last one, right? We've seen 4 movies for my month now.
Yeah, this is the last one of your official movie month.
And then we have our little crossover.
I'm gonna rank the movies that of your month at the end of the episode.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But this one's definitely pretty high.
That's good, that's good. I feel like you're gonna rank the rom-com highest, which is weird for me to say, because you hate rom-coms. And based off of our conversations, I really feel like you are going to rate the rom-com the highest, which
I don't know.
It could be the fact that you were so when you watched it, but you were like, this is the only rom-com I will ever love other than When Harry Met Sally. Like, you were obsessed with it more than I was, which was crazy, because I picked it. And then you argued with me about the moon. So Good Boys is a movie about 3 boys going into middle school. So they're like 11 years old, and they've been best friends for a really long time, but one of them has a crush on a girl and wants to go to like a boy-girl kissing party to like kiss her, and it needs the other two's help to look cool, and then one of them is also obsessed with looking cool, and one of them's just like a really good kid who likes to follow the rules. And then they try and learn how to kiss, but then they piss off these girls who like steal their dad's drone, which is going to get them in trouble, but then they get the drone back, but the girls have drugs, so they take the drugs from the girls, and then the drone gets crushed. They need to get a new drone, but the girls want the drugs back. So then this movie took so many twists and turns. You know how you were like yesterday, I thought the movie's over now? I kept thinking like the movie was going to be over or something, and then like another plot point happened. Like I was like, how did we get here? How did we get to them running across a highway? How many steps did they have to take to be running across like 6 lanes of traffic? And I don't remember how they got their drone back.
So they gave the drugs to a cop at a gas station
Yeah.
because the good one couldn't keep his mouth shut because he has to be honest about everything. And so they tried to trick the girls by giving them just gummy vitamins because the Molly was in a vitamin, like a kid's vitamin container. And so they were like, these are gummies. And they're like, give us our drugs. And we're like, well, we don't have the drugs. So they drove them to the girl's ex-boyfriend's frat house, and they went in, got the drugs,
Bought drugs, but then they shot everyone with paintballs.
Yeah, they like fought everyone because they found out that his ex-girlfriend put them up to this. And so one kid got punched in the face, another one like body slammed a dude into a table tennis table, I don't know, a ping pong table, and the other one got the drugs and they all ran out.
And they flew the drone back to the house, but they like crashed into everything because they couldn't see where they were going.
Yeah.
And they had like a friend breakup.
Which I don't know why they didn't do the burglar route.
That's what. Okay, that was my biggest problem with the movie is when the drone first went missing.
Like earlier, they were like,
yeah.
Let's blame the burglar.
They were like, let's
and then they
stage a
destroyed the
break-in.
house. I was like,
And
okay, they're gonna do the
me
burglar
too,
thing,
me
and then they
too.
don't.
Dude, I had the same thought process. I was totally
like,
fucking. They said the burglar thing, and then they got the house destroyed, and I was like, oh, obviously they're gonna go the burglar route and say someone broke in, but somehow the dad just immediately knew it was his son, and I didn't understand how the dad knew that that's what happened, and it's not like someone broke into the house. I didn't understand.
They really should have went the burglar route.
Well, the dad knew right away, and I don't understand it.
I don't either.
And then the dad told the kid that he no longer likes him, which is a fucking insane thing to say to your 11-year-old. Any age. Why would you say that to your kid? Isn't that weird?
He's immature.
Why would you tell your kid that you don't like them anymore? The drone was
You
fine.
can't call me dad. You have to call me warden.
He was
What?
horrible. And then Max still took the blame for his friends. And then I thought it was so funny that Lucas told his parents everything. Like, that was so funny. And then his parents didn't believe him? Like, bro, this kid can't tell a lie to save his life, and you don't believe his story that he told in painful detail? Like, what?
They should have believed him, but it was kind of crazy for, like, a middle schooler who's never done anything bad before in his life.
You're right, but, like, bro was
so telling
the truth.
I understood not believing him. I really liked that you could tell that this is the time that millennials were having kids because of all the kids' names.
The names, oh my god.
Like, one kid was literally named Thor, and I was like, you're fucking kidding me.
Thor in Brixley? Fucking Brixley?
And Atticus and Soren, those are such millennial names.
Like, oh my god. So, if this came out in 2019, and they were like 11,
nobody was named Hermione.
that means these kids were born in like 2008. So these kids are not much younger than us. These kids are like 4 or 5 years younger than us, right? So Thor being born in 2008. When did the first Thor movie come out?
I think 2012.
Dude, the time is not adding up. The timeline is not adding up.
No, definitely 2010 because 2012 the Avengers came out. So definitely 2010.
But bro, if they were born in 2008, these are just comic nerds.
Millennials like comics.
You're so right, but this was not.
I mean, based on how sex obsessed his parents were, they're definitely into comics.
You're so right. Like this kid was not named Thor because Avengers was popular. This kid was named Thor because his parents like comic books. And before the Avengers movies came out, Thor was not a super popular comic book character. So these were like hardcore comic nerds. You know what I mean?
Well, they could just really be into Norse mythology.
Like, the reason the Avengers movies were made was because all of Marvel's good characters were taken by other film places. Like, they were not the most popular characters at the time. His parents were just really into Norse mythology or comic books. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Bro, we're analyzing this movie too hard. These characters are like what I would have been if I was able to be a boy in middle school, and I completely agree.
I feel like you would have been like Thor.
I feel like I would have been like, yeah, I could have been like any of them. Like, they're like not unpopular, but they're not popular. Like, they're just kind of there, and they're like kind of goofy and like kind of responsible, but like also not. And I feel like that's my middle school vibe. And watching this movie like really hit the childhood gender. Like, I was like, yeah, this is what middle school is like. And then it's just some boys hanging out, and I really like that.
I like that they use actual middle schoolers, and it was so accurate to how middle school is. Like,
bro, looking up how to kiss, looking up how to kiss. That's what middle school is like.
Like, the way they like did everything, their speech, like their lingo, the way they would talk to older kids.
Anal.
They'd be like, yeah, and then oh my god, and they took out all the sex toys.
And not knowing what a sex doll is.
Yeah, even though they, oh my god, when they were looking up porn for the first time, and they were like, ew! And then Lucas was like, girl, he was like, get your hand out of there! It was so funny! It was so funny. That was literally me watching porn for the first time. I was like, where's your hand going? Why is that all the way up inside that woman? Please take it out.
Dude, this was just like, this movie, even though it was a bit more, like, modern day than when we were in middle school, that was just like, that was so middle school core. Like, that's what middle school's like.
That's what middle school like was for me. It wasn't really modern. It was literally like
3 years after we were in 6th grade. Yeah, that was it. When I was watching this movie, I was wondering how much sex dolls cost, because this guy paid like $500 really for this sex doll and was like, holy shit, like, I just got such a bargain. So how many thousands of dollars?
They're at least $800, but they go for upwards of like 10,000.
Oh my god.
It depends how much of a body, like how much, like what portion of a body you could get, because you can't just get a torso, like belly button down to like mid-thigh, or you could get like full torso with tits, with stuff like that, or you could get like the full body.
Well, that was a full body.
You can also get hair, which I'm assuming that girl had hair because the guy was like, this girl seems exotic, which means she definitely got a full bush down there, and she had a wig, and she had a face, so she was probably really expensive.
So the main character Max was like
I've never looked into this. Why would I know?
It sounds like you know. It really sounds like you know.
I used to be a sex doll salesman.
Oh, used to be. How old are you? You had this whole past life?
I'm 20. I had time.
God. So the main character Max is so funny because he just kind of hit puberty before his friends. And he's, like, so aggressively straight, right? Like, the entire movie, he's wanting to kiss a girl, and then, like, at the end of the movie, doesn't he dump her for a different girl, as middle schoolers do? And...
yeah, I had, like, 3 girlfriends in
yeah, he had, like... and it's so funny because his other 2 friends both felt so... like, they were so not interested in girls. Like, they were very gay in comparison.
No, they're not gay. I'm just happy for them that they didn't want... they weren't ready yet, which is fine.
No, I agree. I like that for them.
I'm kind of happy that they did that.
I like that too. I liked that they all had different interests and boundaries, and that allowed them to join different groups in middle school while still being friends.
Yeah, that was
like,
really
they had different boundaries at the party, and Thor's like, I don't want to play this kissing game, I'm gonna leave. And he set his boundaries, but like he was still friends with his friends, even though they ended up in different spaces because of their different boundaries.
It was like, it's the hardest thing to learn when you're in school is that your friends have other interests that they can do and sometimes have to do without you, that you don't want to do, and you just have to go your separate ways and do the things that you want to do even though your friends can't. But you'll always have like a mutual interest or just your general friendship to always have, and that was so cute.
I love that the spin the bottle landed on Thor. Like, I knew, instead of Max.
Oh, I knew it. I called that when spin bottle
Me too. I knew it, and I love that they did the thing. And I like that the focus the movie had on the young boys knowing what consent is. Like, there were multiple bits where they were like, dude, you have to ask for consent before you can kiss a girl. And I love that these 11-year-old boys understand consent like that, you know?
How do they know what consent is, but not what sex is?
Well, they understand, because consent can be for, like, physical things that aren't sex. Like, they ask for consent before kissing or hugging someone. And I think that was really great, that these kids grew up being taught what consent was.
You're telling me that my kids are learning what consent is in school?
God damn it!
I'm homeschooling my kids.
Them goddamn communists are teaching my kids consent.
God dang it! They should have shot Biden!
I loved when the 2 girls were, like, really, really high or whatever. Like, when they were on drugs. because then when Thor sang for them, and I was like, this is so good for an 11-year-old to sing like this. And I was like, and they looked like they were having the time of their lives. And I was like, they must think this singing is the best thing in the world. And they were so sweet to the boys.
Really,
like,
a really good singer.
They were acting like older sisters to them. They were like, oh my god, you have to hang out with us. You're here. Oh my god. And it was really, really cute. And can I explain my Asian note now?
Oh god.
So,
yeah.
You know how the really popular kid is Asian, and then that one girl was Asian? I just got the vibes that they were siblings at the beginning of the movie. Like, this older girl doing drugs is gonna be the sister of this popular kid in school, and, like, that's how it connects. But I was like, that's so racist. You can't assume they're siblings because they're both Asian. So then I was like, so I, like, didn't write down this theory, and then at the end of the movie they were in fact siblings. I was like, oh my god, I knew it all along, but I didn't want to say it because it sounded racist.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was what that note was, but I wrote it in such a weird way. I wrote down something about Hannah, but I think I deleted the note because I didn't know what it meant. I was like, what the fuck is a Hannah? Or something like that, and I don't know what I meant by that.
Oh, because when they dropped the kids off at the fry house, the girl was like, don't tell them that you know Hannah. And the kid was like, who's Hannah? And she's like, me.
That was so funny.
Like,
that's probably what I meant by that. I think
and
she shouldn't have.
Just like, I know. Go.
She should not have told them her name because they wouldn't have been able to tell the guy her name if she never told them.
Yeah.
Dude.
Who's Hannah? Me, you fucking dipshit. Also, okay, how long do you think the dad was gone? Because I counted 3 days max. And dude had to get on a flight, go through a work conference for at least 2 days. Like, he had where was he going? A work conference.
My mom would go away for 3 days for work sometimes. Like, when I was growing up, my mom would go to Philadelphia for, like, a conference or a meeting, and she'd be gone for 3 nights.
3 nights? Like, why would you do that?
I don't know. She did it often. She did it once a month when I was growing up. She would go to Philadelphia for 3 nights, about once a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
no, like all of
short,
elementary school, she did that.
Can I read you my favorite lines from the movie?
Yes.
They all come from Lucas. Lucas is my favorite.
Lucas is so funny. Oh
but
my
when they're in the gas
god.
station, they're like trying to hide from the policeman. He's like, he's eye fucking us, and that was the fucking hilarious.
Everything he said at all times was hilarious.
He also, when they were in the park, like yelling at each other, there's this like random old man laughing at them. He's like, "What are you looking at, fucking Gandalf?" And then he just like walks away.
Dude, you need to.
It's so
Can we watch
funny.
this movie together?
Oh, and then when Max was talking to the girls at the beginning of the movie, and they were like, "You're being a misogynist." He's like, "I've never massaged anyone." That was really funny. And then they were like, you're being a feminist." He's like, "No, I love women." I forget when this happened, but Thor, I think they're in the park actually. But Thor was like, "Do I look cool?" Oh, no, they were in the lunchroom and he was talking about his earring, and Thor was like, "Don't I look cool?" And Max was like, "Yeah, it's cute."
It's cute.
And then Thor was like, "Max, I'm not
sexy.
going for cute. I'm going for sexy and hot."
Okay, Thor was such. These 3 characters are really, really interesting. It reminds me of when I talked about the 3 differences in characters in the Swing Kids movie, which would fit so perfectly in my month, actually. But it's like, on one end, you have Lucas, who's really, really, really follow the rules. And on the other hand, you have Thor, who wants to be cool so bad that he will do anything. And then, in the middle, you have Max, who's like, I feel like I shouldn't do this, but I also want to be cool, so I'm gonna do it. And it was a really interesting dynamic, especially because you could tell that Thor didn't really want to do the bad things. But then I felt really bad for Lucas, especially when he was about to sell the card, because it was like he was paying for the mistakes the other 2 were making, and that was not fair on him at all. Like, the other 2 were being incompetent, and Lucas was paying for it. My favorite part was when they were running across the highway, because there's no way in hell none of them got hit. Like, that was so unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I could. I could see the overlay that they did for the traffic.
You film major, you.
Me and my film major eyes.
When Thor was like, I'm just gonna sit here and die, like, that's what I would have done in that situation. That was me. That was so me. I would have just sat at the end of the highway. That was so funny. This movie was so funny.
When they crossed the highway, there was a giant brick wall behind them as, like, the privacy sound barrier. But it just, like, cut straight to them running into the mall, and I was like, no, I wanted to see them hop over the mall like fucking idiot. Like, the wall. Like, they
yeah.
boosted each other up and fell over. And Lucas had to, like, climb the wall by himself because he was obviously the booster because he was the tallest one.
Right.
I just wanted to see that happen, and that would have been really funny. But they didn't do that.
I thought the end of the movie, when they all went their different ways in middle school, was kind of funny, because then it was just, like, 1 month later. Like, all of that happened, and, like, he got, like, 3 different girlfriends, and they joined different clubs and stuff, all in a month.
That was a month?
Yeah, they said 1 month later or something. Or they were, no,
That's
it was, like,
so
they had a
real
conversation, and they were like, yeah, it's been a month since, like, those events happened. And that was so middle school.
That is so real for middle school, to just have one guy to have, like, 4 different girlfriends within, like, a month.
He was so that kid.
I didn't even realize that they were skipping school until they told the police officer that they were skipping school.
They were skipping
school. I thought
school.
it was a weekend.
It was very Ferris Bueller's Day Off core with how many different events that they were trying to go through and, like, not get caught by their parents, or get in trouble for, like, not being at school and, like, doing illegal things, but also having a good time, but also having problems. But then it was funnier. And it was 11-year-olds. It
kind of felt like they were just doing the same thing over again, which they were, because they lost the drone, and then they got drugs, and then they lost the drugs, and then they got the drone, and...
Yeah, they had to go... There's a lot of different steps, which is really interesting. The guy who was trying to buy the sex doll from them, he was the Tooth Fairy in the movie The Tooth Fairy, right? Have you ever seen The Tooth Fairy?
He was the manager.
Yeah, that's what I saw him, and I was like, oh my god, it's the Tooth Fairy guy. He's the most British-looking man I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's not where I know that guy from.
He's definitely in other things, but I associate him with that movie. And he's so British-looking. Lucas's parents told him they were getting divorced in such a horrible way. Oh my god.
No, that was so funny.
It was so funny and bad.
It was hilarious.
I don't have anything else. I just want to know what your ranking of my movies is.
Oh, right. So, out of your movies, we watched 4 movies this month. We watched Dead Poet Society,
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and then Good Boys today. The ranking of these 4 movies for me... I'll go from the bottom up. In last place is Perks of Being a Wallflower. I personally just didn't feel for that movie. I didn't like it. It's structured weirdly. It ends like 6 times. It's not for me. After that, I kind of don't want to put this here, but I also want to tie it for 2nd place. No, Perks of Being a Wallflower is in 4th place, but tied for 2nd place is Dead Poet Society and this movie. And then No Hard Feelings would be first, but only if I am sober, I would put Good Boys on top. That's my ranking. So I guess technically, actually, 4th place would be Perks of Being a Wallflower. 2nd place would be Dead Poet Society, and then tied for first would be No Hard Feelings and Good Boys. But, personally, I don't think I would choose to watch any of these movies again. But if the first 3 were on a TV somewhere, I would sit down and watch it. But I don't think I would choose to watch them.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna give my goofy and sober ratings. Okay, sober. Yeah. 4th place would be No Hard Feelings.
Wow, that's disappointing.
3rd place would be Perks of Being a Wallflower. 2nd place would be Good Boys. 1st place would be Dead Poet Society. I am gonna trust you that No Hard Feelings is better when you're. I've never seen.
Dude, it's so
I've never
good.
seen it, but I'm gonna trust you.
You gotta.
So I'm gonna move it up from 4th. So if I'm Goofy, 4th place would be Perks of Being a Wallflower. 3rd place would be No Hard Feelings. 2nd place would be Dead Poet Society. 1st place would be Good Boys.
Yeah.
Okay, who was your favorite character and why was it Lucas?
So my favorite character was Lucas because I loved all of his lines. Also, the actor sounds like he could voice Darwin from The Amazing World of Gumball. I don't know if you watched that cartoon when you were a kid, but he is like one of the perfect actors to play Darwin. And every kid that voices Darwin is black because the character's black, and he just has the perfect Darwin scream, and also some of the lines that he said, I could only picture him as Darwin.
My favorite character was Thor because I liked his vibes and I
Thor.
liked that he had character development and learned that he should put himself over being popular. And I like that he set his boundaries. And I think he was funny and had good vibes. What would you rate this movie?
I'd give it like a 3.8.
I'm gonna give it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
4.3.
Whoa! That's higher than mine.
Whoa! Thank you for listening to our podcast today. If you want to go check out all the other Tyler Month's videos, you can do that by clicking on our Telly Talk playlist. You should also subscribe because next month is Souls Movie Month. And we love to talk about movies and play games. We have videos coming out like twice a week, so you should just subscribe and hang out with us. Peace out.
Bye.